Welcome to Language College, and today's episode is about if clauses or conditional sentences type 2. What would be if? Let's have a look at a song first.
If I was a sailor, I would sail you out to sea, take you across the ocean, ask you to marry me. Oh, if I was a sailor, I would sail you home to me.
We're going to have a look at this song later, but this is what we're going to talk about. If clause type 2, if I was a better man, I would, and so on. Let's have a look. If I was, I would be. If I was an animal, I would be a dog. If I was a car, I would be a Tesla. If I was a city, I would be Berlin. If I was a color, I would be blue. If I was a country, I would be Denmark. If I was a film, I would be Star Wars. If I was a fruit, I would be an apple. And if I was a month, I would definitely be August. And so on and so on. Let's have a look at these examples here. If Arthur wasn't smoking, he wouldn't cough. If the teacher wasn't in class, the students would be shouting all the time. If Carol would be more tidy, she wouldn't have to look for her shoes all the time. And if Eva was larger, the pullover would fit. When do we use if clauses or conditional sentences type 2? If clause type 2 is used if the condition, the if part, is impossible to happen. If I was a color, I would be blue. The writer is no color, so the condition is impossible. If I learned a lot, I would be a good student. But telling this shows that the man doesn't want to learn, so it is impossible to be a good student. Or something is very unlikely to happen. If I found 10,000 dollars, I would buy a new car. But it is not very likely that we are going to find that much money. So we use if clause type 2. Okay, let's have a look at the structure of if clauses type 2. Of course, we have the if part and the main part, just like in the conditional sentences type 1. If someone gave me, what is it, $100,000, I would live in Paris. If you were a color, you would be blue. So let's have a look at the if part. If plus person, someone, you, Mr. Miller, whoever. And now it is the verb in simple past. Gave, were, and so on, plus the rest of the if part. I would live in Paris, you would be blue. So it is the person, plus would, could, or should, plus the infinitive. Would live, would be, and so on. This is the structure. Okay, let's train that. Make sentences putting the verbs in brackets into the correct tense. If you drove more carefully, you not have so many accidents. We're focusing on the main part, and so we have to put not have into the correct form. Short break, and after the break I'm going to tell you the correct solution. Here's the answer. If you drove more carefully, you wouldn't have so many accidents. Not have, wouldn't, plus infinitive. Next, if we to get up earlier, If he to get up earlier, he'd get to work on time. Does he'd, the he'd means he would get. Short break, and the answer will be there in a second. All right, so in the if part, it's to get up. If part means we need to use simple past, so it is. If he got up earlier, he would get to work on time, or he'd get to work on time. Next example, if we to have more time, I could tell you more about it. Short break. And here's the answer. If he had simple past more time, I could tell you more about it. What would you do if you suddenly to win $500,000? Just a second. Here's the answer. What would you do if you suddenly won $500,000? Okay, let's get back to the song. And as we know the structure of if clause type 2 and when to use it, it is absolutely easy to focus a bit on the song. Just listen and relax.
If I was a sailor, I would sail you out to sea. Take you across the ocean, ask you to marry me. Oh, if I was a sailor, I would sail you home to me. And if I was a soldier, I would march to war for you. I'd face every bullet and cannonball that flew. Oh, if I was a soldier, I would wage a war for you. And if I was a jailer, I would lock you away. Then I'd have the key to see you each and every day. Oh, if I was a jailer, I would still have you today. And if I was a rich man, I'd buy you flowers every day. But I am a poor man, so I'll pick them on the way. Oh, if I was a rich man, I would pay to make you stay.
And so on and so on. If you watched the video about if clauses type 1, you'll find out that we've got if clause type 1 in this song, but I am a poor man, so I'll pick them on the way. I am a poor man and I'll pick them on the way. So this is type 1. So much for that. What would you do if you didn't learn enough at language college? Well, actually, this is a condition that is very unlikely to happen. Have a fantastic time and see you next time with if clauses type 3. Bye bye.